Good morning, Michael, and thank you for joining Business Spotlight. Good to have you on board.
Good morning, Milton. Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with telling us a bit about yourself and about your business.
So I'm Michael Jansen, Managing Director, founder of PowerTec, Power Technology Engineered Solution, as the full name is. My personal background has been in electrical engineering companies, in large corporates. I worked through, you name it, of international corporate electrical engineering solution providers, companies. But in 2014, after about 30 years in corporate, I decided that it's good to do something new. And I started up Power Technology Engineered Solutions. So the company is an independent Australian family-owned engineering technology company. And we produce what we call microgrid and power supply resilience products and systems. So I explained that.
Yeah, please.
So our products and systems, they provide an end-to-end solution for operators of commercial industrial sites. So that's really a factory, like a food factory or a shopping center as a commercial site. Industrial sites, going to, for example, agricultural business or mining, EV charging, and the utility network and communities all together. So these are all our customers, and our products and systems help to make their power supply more resilient, more sustainable, and more autonomous. So that's all keywords, and I'll explain again what we mean with those keywords. So we've got a battery and inverter based system, and we've got a control system, and they together make these sites, so power supply more robust and reliable. That means the production can keep going, whether there's an outage or a grid event or not. And they augment the power rating. Well, that means get more power. So I'm out in the region and I want to operate an EV charging station, but I only have a normal grid connection for a little petrol station. Then our systems increase the power, get more power for your site. And last but not least, reduce the energy cost and unlock new revenue. So owners of these systems can participate in the energy markets and can supply energy, buy and sell energy, and provide so-called auxiliary services where these power assets are called upon to stabilize the grid. So all of that, in the end, our systems really are good to bring the network to 100% renewable generation, efficient storage, and inverter-based grid stability. You don't need a turbine. You don't need a mechanical piece to keep a network stable. That's our message. And as a small company, well, there's only 9 of us in a fixed employment role within PowerTec at the moment. We do end-to-end work. So we develop solutions, we design solutions, we actually manufacture. We have a workshop here and we build our systems very much ourselves. We program code, and then we commission and service the sites. So it's an end-to-end business in a narrow niche, and with some strong partners, which go back to international global electrical companies that are our component suppliers for inverters, for batteries, for control hardware. With the support of these strong partners, we're able to do this niche end-to-end business as a rather small team.
Right. How did you get into this business, this field of the business?
Yeah, bit of a development. I've been working, grew up in Germany, became an engineer, worked in employed roles, and indeed worked myself up in a corporate structure. So from a development engineer to a project engineer, project manager, and in the end ended up being in global division management roles or regional management roles for large electrical companies. In such a role, I was also employed by a large global player in Australia, and it was always in fields of industrial plant or power supply plant, utility and industry, rather large plants. I've worked in steel rolling mills for a long time. Mm. So doing power supply in Australia, which was new for me, there was, of course, a lot of like corporate guidance, and I found that there was a market niche where the systems are relatively small, saying small, like we do a 5 megawatt system, which can supply to a large industrial facility, or if you want to 20 villages. So it's not really that small, but small for corporate. In that sector, we could be much more nimble. I found being self-employed, and I found it also a logical step with the background and learnings and my own wish to become an entrepreneur, to quit my corporate career and set up PowerTec. That said, I did have a little established customer base as a person developed in Australia at that time that helped us to start up.
So, Michael, who'd be an ideal client or customer for you?
There's 3 segments. One is indeed our electricity network. So we work with public networks, the DNSPs, distribution network service providers, like you have in Victoria, AusNet Services, United Energy, Power Corp, you name it. And that's for utility grids, community grids. Number 2 is EV charging network operators. Well, there are a few. One of our customers is ChargeFox, who was maybe the earliest and currently the largest ultra-fast electric vehicle charging network. So that's a private customer rolling out a network of charging stations. And then number 3 is indeed operators of factories and or of agribusiness. We're quite well established in food factories and agribusiness that need uninterrupted power, that need more sustainable, so that need more clean power, that need more renewables. So these are these are our ideal customers.
Yeah, good. What's the biggest learning you've had since being a business owner?
On a very high level, I should have started that earlier in my career. I should have not been so afraid about it for such a long time. The race against the clock is very important. The establishment in the niche is actually works. You can do it when you're small. You need some partners, sure. And you need to be special. You need to maintain your differentiator. Not take the easy way. But it's easier than I thought.
Okay. So what have been some of the biggest issues you've had to overcome in your journey in the business?
Not so unusually. When you're small, it starts with getting a customer base, more than one customer, more than one with whom you have a relationship. And it's important for us to be, not too dependent. And as we're a small business with big institutional or public customers, we had to overcome this perception that we are basically attached to one customer or attached to public funding, which we're really not. To do that, hard work to provide solutions that struck people in the business. We got some Clean Energy Council award in 2017 that gave us some visibility. The the volume that we need to operate in this utility space, relative to the small means that we have growing ourselves and keeping that independence, has always been hard. And with COVID, that was a terrible time for us. Basically, we had no orders for 2 years. All the infrastructure projects were effectively on hold. To overcome this, well, we needed to be even more efficient, more consequent in what we did. So there was a lot of learning in that.
Right. What about your team? How do you keep your team culture and motivated?
Yeah, very good question. Even as a small company, I think we do have values that stick with the team. There are, well, probably our financial means in the first place are not as exorbitant as they may be in some corporate roles. But what people like in the team, everybody is on board to do this deep system integration, to do something that is a real end-to-end solution where you actually know your value in the team, where the team wouldn't function without a single, without everybody's individual contribution, which is also an issue if somebody leaves. But the deep integration is something that motivates people. Then, well, we do it smart. We're not a distribution business. We're not, one step in the value chain. We really do a lot of design. So I do win team members from relatively from graduates, from relatively young people that are looking for a job where they can really apply their knowledge that they gained at the university, and where we have actually a good balance, a real tension field between highly theoretical things and real practical things, and going out and get our fingers dirty. So there's not many that can offer these breadths, and we have to work together with our customers. We don't raise claims. We do learn from customers, and customers grant us the benefits of the learning that go into our products. We have a lot of intellectual property. So this is why I think the team chooses to work here, but it is tough to have people that are on board and that leave the comfort of a corporate environment, which they're all engineers apart from one. So for those people to leave the comfort of a corporate environment and all the support functions behind them, we need this special motivation.
How do you find your inspiration each day to keep on doing what you're doing?
It is this subject, of course. It's a mix of, I believe we have a technology that to a certain extent really plays a big role in the puzzle to decarbonize the economy. You hear a lot of political statement, a lot of finger pointing, and people say, oh, you need coal-fired power generation, you need at least a bit for some technical aspects. And that's actually not the case. And I do like the mission. I do like to bring that mission forward and do good. But at the same time, I had a long corporate career, and I basically left my corporate life only at the age of almost 50. Just having a bit of looking back and saying this was too late, and in the end, there was a wall, and it wasn't efficient. It didn't make me happy. It's a bit, of course, proving the case and proving it to myself that this can be done is a strong motivator.
What would you say to anyone thinking of going into business?
Yeah, as so often, of course, first do it. Don't take the easy way, and and if you want to stay there, if you really want to do business, maybe also don't look at investors and pitches in the first place. Start really with what is, well, solid business planning. What is my differentiator? Where am I special? Where's my niche?
Good.
And yeah, the rest will come.
Yeah. If you started your business again, what would you do differently?
Good point, and it's maybe a very general one. I would be more consequent in many things. I'm starting with, indeed, team selection, having a clear mission, and being a bit faster at deciding to, well, to hire people and to let people go. Being a bit more consequent and more analytic, more observations of the market, more even a broader study to customers, and being more courageous. Initially we had too many waves. We had a big project, great, everybody was running after that project, and because we were so busy and we had to deliver quality and we wanted to be good, well, we couldn't do sales anymore, no time. And then we fall into the next hole, and then it takes another half year until we get the next big project. So I would have been more courageous if I started again. I would have actually thrown more private money at it initially to have a team that can represent all functions, at least keep the sales and operations in balance. So yeah, that would be a learning.
And finally, what's the best advice you would give to your 18-year-old self?
Yes. A bit of what I said already. Integrity. Well, first of all, integrity is the highest good. And while integrity was always a big thing for me, it was always at the forefront, and it may have led me to leave my corporate career behind. I thought it was trivial. But in business and in corporate careers, integrity was not trivial. So I would tell my 18-year-old self, look at your integrity, more consequent, and then yes, you can be more courageous. You can trust yourself more. Everybody's only cooking with water.
And also, what's the future look like for you and the business?
Well. I'm going to have to work until I'm 70. No. So we're in full swing. The business is in a kind of a stage 2. We're in the flood area. We've got more to do than ever. We go through the stages of an organically growing business. And at this stage, of course, it still takes a strong leader. And I'm leading the business. I'm the main head towards the customers, and I still deliver the technical bracket over the various disciplines that we have. So that has, of course, that has to change, and it has started to change. And we do have a small leadership team. So 3 of the 9 are leaders, but it still needs that. So it is, of course, being able to focus more on the development of the business, getting the business to run a more stress-free and more regular operation. And then our target is very much to leave a legacy. It's not to find the next angel investor and retire with a yacht. No, it is. I've got children. I've got a mission, and I like it. So the future is to leave a legacy and grow the business organically further.
Great, excellent. Thank you so much for your day, Michael. I really appreciate your time and your wisdom, more importantly.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the good questions. That were a good guidance to tell a story. Wonderful, Milton. Thanks again.
My pleasure. Thank you, Michael.